hard to see, but I will tell you that you can see some of the countries. But remittance from countries to countries is certainly going to be a major requirement of these programs. It's nice to be able to say, I have a teenage daughter and she'll be able to use the card and the phone. But the reality is that there's millions upon millions of people that are exported by their countries in order to work in other countries. And so those people will be using many, many mobile remittance applications. So where does that lead us? Is into global remittance. I think that prepaid cards and cell phones is a global play, not a domestic play. I think that you'll see that this is going to become the standard of the world, being able to use a cell phone in order to access the values and the amounts that you have on your prepaid processor's account. So some of the near-term migrations, as we look at the new innovation, cell phone for point of sale, I think that's going to be off a little bit further. I was the one that tried to do it with smart cards, and you never see a smart card accepted today in a store. You're not going to see mobile for direct access to a point of sale device anytime soon. Glad to argue with you, but it's not. The merchant will not be changing over anytime soon. Pay stub access on payroll cards, bill payment, savings accounts. And the reality of mobile commerce will finally come to life. I saw a number from Tower Group not too long ago. I used to always speak and go, you know, the unbanked, underbanked population was about 60, maybe 55 million people. In the current economic environment, that underbanked, unbanked population is probably approaching 100 million. So we look at the future. What is the future of the convergence of prepaid along with mobile? One is, I think, financial services in a prepaid environment. I think that's what we're going to see more and more and more of. But mobile will always require a prepaid card to keep track of the activity, to do the authorization, to be able to move the money and go into an ATM. You've got to have a prepaid card, and that's what the processor will provide. I think you're going to see multi-branded movement of funds. Today, the brands, and I'll show you those, it's really, you're within OVO, and you're within the brand. I think you're going to see inter-brand settlement coming up so that we have better travel cards, teen cards, certainly disbursement cards, and loyalty programs can be driven, though we still have to, the holy grail of loyalty is incremental revenue. We still haven't solved that problem. So let's look a little bit about the business. First, you got to understand the industry. What I really would encourage you, if you're not in the prepaid side, you need to get into learning, understanding it, know the market. When you carefully select, you have a bank, you have a processor, and the mobile solution provider, make sure that you understand what they do and how they can do it. Not all banks, if we have some bankers here, I'll tell you that prepaid sponsoring institutions, not all banks view prepaid mobile empowerment the same. They have significant loading variables, differences. In the world today, there's banks all over that ballpark. There's various, I think a lot of different banks are very limited on their mindset. They're not really looking for mobile. They don't understand it. So be sure you talk to the financial institution first to understand their mobile appetite. They're going to do due diligence on you. Might as well get ready. This is the time of due diligence. I think it's going to be more rather than less. I think law enforcement is certainly has every right to think this, and the governing bodies, FDIC, and all the various folks. So make sure that you and your mobile providers and your banks are able to, let's call it endure the due diligence, but it is what is required, and I endorse that really 100%.